Kingdom 9C, restoration to original design, relationships. Now in Kingdom 9B, I ended it by asking, what do we do if we know we do not love our neighbors as ourselves? Try harder, fast and pray to become more loving? Let me first share with you a dream that my friend Joe Ozawa had many years ago that I believe will answer this question. And then I'll go into the theology. Okay? Now, in his dream, Joe was taken up into heaven. And this is how he described his experience in his own words. Okay? And you know, Joe has a way of telling the most serious things in a funny way. One day while asleep, I had an unusual dream. Maybe it was a vision. I found myself suddenly before God in heaven. How did I know it was God? I couldn't see his face, but it was like looking straight at the sun, so very bright. Only it wasn't a burning feeling, only a sense of great love and a power that I didn't understand. I fell to my knees and began to apologize for myself. In fact, I didn't quite know what to apologize for, but I figured that if this really was God, it would be a really smart thing to begin our conversation with my apologies. Oh God, I am sorry that I have not prayed enough, I said weakly. Well, that's very important, but that's not the most important thing, he said in return in a very deep, rich voice. Then, well, yes, I'm so sorry that I eat too much. You know, I can't help myself sometimes. I know I should be fasting more, but I can't seem to do it, I apologized. Well, that's very important, but that's not the most important thing, he said. I began apologizing for everything I could think of. What else could I have done wrong? Maybe I didn't give enough money to the poor. Maybe I didn't have enough faith. And then a thought came to me. Oh God, I know now. I haven't been very nice to my wife. I know I should love her better. That must be it. Oh, that's very, very important. But that's not the most important thing, he said once again. Oh God, what do you want from me anyway? I asked, whining like a little spoiled child. He was really frustrating me. I just couldn't figure him out. What did he want from me anyway? Finally, he said, when you appear before me the final time, I will only have one question to ask you. Now, every time Joe shares his dream, when he comes to this point, he would pause and he would ask, what do you think is that question that God would ask us? Now, I've also shared Joe's dream to, hundreds, possibly thousands of people around the world. And each time I would also pause and ask, what do you think that question is? And up to today, no one seems to be able to guess it right. Yeah? So let me pause here for a while and give you a chance to think about it. What do you think God would ask us? What is that most important thing? Each time people would think it is, did you love me with all your heart? Or did you love your neighbor as yourself? Or did you try your best to be the person you were supposed to be? Or something like that. Yeah? But in his dream, God said this is the question that he would ask us. Did you learn to receive my love? Now, why do I believe that, yes, this would be the question that God would ask us? I believe it's because we need God's love. You see, the first thing, we need His love to heal us. our hearts are empty and dry without His love. Yeah. And we've been wounded by so many things in this world. We need His love to heal us. And second, we need God's love so that we can love others. Because without God's love, none of us can really love. We can love, but our love is selfish, Yeah. So, remember in the previous video, Jesus said, with man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible. Now, does it make sense? Does it make sense now why Jesus said that and what He meant by that? See, John 15, Jesus said, apart from me, you can do nothing. So Jesus recognized that no one can fulfill God's laws and God's expectations. Why? Because, as I've mentioned already several times, we were not created to be independent of God, to operate apart from God. Because we are designed to be one with God. And when we are one with God, His love will be in us. Yeah? And that's the vine and branches in John 15, which actually describes God's original design for us. And branches, they don't have to try to bear fruit. Yeah? Branches just need to be attached to the vine and draw life from the vine, and they will bear fruit. Yeah? So in 1 John 4:19, John said, we love because He first loved us. In other words, it is God who can enable us to love. Right? Now, why is it many people think that the question that God would ask us is, did you love me with all your heart? Or did you love your neighbor as yourself? Or did you try your best? Or something like that. Now, when we think that way, what does it show? It shows that we are still depending on ourselves, isn't it? Yeah? We will depend on God to save us because we know we can't save ourselves. But when it comes to living every day, the self-interest is so strong that we will still depend on ourselves to be Christian, isn't it? Huh? Nowadays, hardly anyone talks about discipleship. But in the 1970s, when I was still a very young Christian, there was a question that was very popular among the churches. The question was, what does it mean to be a true Christian? Or what does it mean to be a true disciple of Jesus Christ? And people will come together and they will discuss, and some will have 5 points, some 8 points, some 10 points. You know what I mean? You got to be, we have to do this and do this and do this. So people think of spirituality as something inside of us, something inside that we have to achieve by fulfilling this and this and this and this. This is the problem of man. Man has become so self-centered that even in spirituality, man is self-centered. Self-centered as in, we have to live it out of ourselves. Yeah. So now we come back to the question, what should we do if we know we cannot love others as ourselves? The answer is not to try harder, right? The answer is to go back to God and become one with Him. Because that's what we are designed to be, right? To draw life from Him. And we need to go to God and confess to Him how hopelessly self-centered we are. And go to Him and ask Him to fill us with His love. We to go to God and confess, Lord, Lord, I really need you. I am so self-centered without you. I am so empty without you. I need you. I need you every day. I need you right now. I can't live without you. Please come and fill me with your love. I need your love. I can't live without you. Yeah. And teach me, Lord, to receive your love. And when we do that, He will enable and empower us to love. And we'll discover that salvation by grace is not just God forgiving us, but it is also God fulfilling His own law by living in us and through us. And that's the vine and branches that Jesus spoke about in John 15.